Hello and welcome to Crochet Moments. I'm Helen and this is my place where I talk knitting, crochet, pretty much all things yarn and a little bit of crafting too. Apologies for the shaking of the camera. That will be my daughter Catherine adjusting herself playing Sims 4. Are you done knocking the table, my darling?
Sorry.
Right. Yes, so she's insisting on sitting just the other side of the camera playing Sims, so if she jiggles about a bit she might knock the table that you are sat on. Anyway, the place to find me are, so I am on Ravelry as Helen Brown Crochet. I am Crochet Moments on Instagram and I will also put my email below. It's really great to see some new subscribers. I'm over halfway to 100. So I plan on doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you enjoy watching but you're not yet subscribed, go and hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell and you'll be alerted as to when a new video goes live. And hopefully it won't be too long until I do my first giveaway. I haven't quite decided what it's going to be, but there will definitely be some nice yarn involved, because we all like nice yarn, otherwise why are we here? Anyway, so today there'll be a little bit of a life update. I have a couple of finished objects. I've got I've just realised it's in the other room, so I will just pause this a second while I go and get it. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. I had something else in the other room, which is my project, which is so close to being finished that I could cry that it's not finished now. I have literally 10 rows left of the project and I'll show you that in a moment. Yes, I've also got a little tiny bit of incoming and I might talk about a couple of the things that I've been reading and watching. Timestamps are underneath the video, and if I can find any links for any of the things that I talk about today, I will put them down there too, especially the shops where I buy things from because I just like to share the love. I've recently discovered a shop that I love and I'm keen to share. Anyway, let's talk about what I'm wearing. So this is a finished object from, when did I finish this? I think I finished last summer, summer 2019. This is a cocoon cardigan that I made using willow square granny squares. And I'll try and show the whole thing. I have no idea how much of this you're seeing. It's essentially a blanket that's been stitched together in a way to snuggle in as a cardigan. I got the idea from a Bella Coco tutorial where she did a cocoon cardigan using just the plain granny stitch squares, and I don't like the granny stitch, not my favourite, so I decided I would find a different style of granny square to make something, and I found the willow square, which I really love. So I varied the things. The yarn that I used, this colour is the Aldi Aran. I think this one's in a plum. I think I've got a little bit of this left. And the cream is Red Heart Super Saver, which I was really quite excited to find on sale at Wool Warehouse, because I see a lot of the American brands on the Facebook groups that I'm in and a few of the podcasters that I watch, and I'm so jealous because we never get discounts like that on yarn. And yes, it's just, I was like, ooh, there's an American brand in Wool Warehouse. I'm not overly keen on the Super Saver. I want to try some of the other yarns. The Hobby Lobby yarns look really nice. One of the podcasters that I watch recently showed me some of the things that she's been buying. Well, not me personally, but on her channel. And Knit Picks as well seems so. If you know of any UK suppliers of those brands, I would love to give it a try. So yeah, but it's quite nice. I can't remember how many squares I did. I'm sure if I took it off and counted, I could tell you, but that might take too long. I did enough squares basically to make the size to fit myself, and I alternated the colours. So I did some solid plum, I did some as a plum centre with the cream border, the cream centre with the plum border, and somewhere around will be some solid creams as well. So if I can find the pattern for the willow square, and I might even link the tutorial for the granny square cocoon cardigan, so that's a free pattern. So we all like free patterns, don't we? Right, so finished objects. I have a crochet finished object, and I have some stitching finished objects. So I will show my crochet one first, which is from my Crochet Society box. This was box 19. I only chose to do the one pattern out of this box, and this is the, there goes one of my DPNs on the floor. Let me find the name of the pattern. So this is the Estelle Shrug, and it is designed by Natalia McHale of Talia Crochet Creations, and I used the yarn from the box, which was the DK confection, which we all know I didn't like, but I need to use it. I don't like yarn just sitting there being unused, and other than the fact it's horrible to crochet with, it's actually a nice yarn. Right, it's essentially you just crochet a rectangle in, I think there were 7 rows of each colour, so you just have the border and just that few rows on the first repeat in the first colour, and then you just move through the colours and have a full repeat at the bottom, and then we seamed together. I think the pattern said 5 centimetres, but I basically just fit it to Catherine. I did the small size for Catherine, and she wore it for pretty much the whole day after I finished it. So it's quite nice. I think I might have to change the angle of my camera. I think I'm a little bit too close to you to get a really good look at some of the bigger stuff. So just hold on a second again. That's a little bit better. So here it is. It's a little bit easier to hold up so you can see the whole thing. And so it just sort of has this strange shape to it. But once it's on, it actually looks quite nice. I might try and get Catherine to model it, and I'll pop a picture on my Instagram if you want to see it there. So my other finished object, let's pick that DPN up because it's driving me mad being on the floor, is my sewing finished objects. I have been dying to have a go at making my own project bags. And was it last weekend? Or the week? I think it might have been the weekend before actually. I'll have to check my Instagram to find out when I posted a picture. I finally got some time to get my sewing machine out. It was having to be out anyway. Simon, my husband, has got some camera equipment that he has bought some special foam inserts for the drawers that he's going to keep it all in, and he wanted me to sew some loops onto some ribbon that he could use to slide the foam in and out. So I thought, well, I've got my machine out. I'm going to finally have a go at the tutorial from Little Drops of Wonderful that she did in her lockdown blogs of how to do a simple drawstring project bag. So I made two. I'm not sure which one I like the best, although I think I'm leaning more towards this one than this one. I think the stronger blue needs to be the dominant colour. So this is just some cheap poly cotton, and I've lined it with just a light blue cotton. My stitching is only so-so, and on this one I've actually not caught in the raw edges either, so it's a little bit scruffy, a little bit rough and ready, and I didn't have any drawstring cord, so what I did was I just did a couple of really long chains and then slip stitched into the chain, and then I threaded it through. So that's so I've done two of those now, and now I've tried on that particular pattern, I might branch out and attempt something a little bit bigger for my larger projects. I'm really proud of that. It really is as easy as Ali says. So I just need to find some projects to put them in. And I can just hear Simon groaning for that one. I'm not allowed any new projects until I get something finished. That's what he says. So those are my finished objects. And now my so close to being finished I could cry project is Catherine's socks. So these are the Hermione's Everyday Socks by Erica Luda of Dreams in Fibre. I've shown this quite a lot now. Let's just so we can get a bit of a, and I've really enjoyed this pattern, which is a good job because with the leftover yarn from these socks I have to make Emily a pair. So every time she sees it I might have enough yarn left to make her something. It's Mummy. So here is sock number 1, which Catherine has already tried on. Oh, there's a random hair stuck to it, and she loves it. It's a little bit small, so next pair that I make her I need to make a little bit longer, but they fit as close to being fit as they can be. And then here's sock number 2. I'm on the toe, so we're onto the DPNs now, and let's flatten those out so I can hold it up properly. So here's sock number 2. So you will notice they are not matching socks at all. That is mainly because I wasn't paying attention when I was splitting the yarn, and in hindsight I probably should have just knit one sock and then found the repeat that I started with on the first sock. It was a bit tricky to find the repeats on this yarn because the repeated yarn is quite a long repeat. But I don't care. Catherine doesn't mind that they're not matchy-matchy, and she can't wait to wear her socks. And today is, I am planning on working on these tonight, so this toe will be finished before I go to bed tonight. In fact, it will probably be finished within half an hour of finishing recording and tidying up. So that is that. Oh, this is a free pattern and you can find it on Ravelry. I will link it below for you because it's such a cool pattern. and it's quite popular. There's quite a few people that do it. So let's just get some. It's been such a busy day at work today. I haven't had time to sit down and have enough to drink, so my throat's quite dry today. So what next whip shall I show? Let's show the one that's easiest to get to first. So this, I haven't shown it for a while actually. I hadn't worked on it for a few weeks while I was getting Christmas things done. And I picked it back up, and this is my Celestia CAL. So this is the crochet along that comes in the Crochet Now magazine. So this is the colourway for the Scheepes Metropolis one, and it also had the colourway that I'm following is this one. Trying not to show the pattern, although you wouldn't really be able to follow much of it from there anyway. So there's this one. So we're almost done. I am on part 9, and the last one was 12 or 13 parts, so I can't wait. I can't wait to see it finished, because I've laid out all of the hexagons that I've got finished, and it almost covers my double bed. So I'm actually looking forward to having it maybe as a blanket for camping, for those cool evenings. Now there it is, hiding in the bottom of the bag. I need to get a marker to hold that loop so I don't lose it. So this is how far I am on this part, so not a lot. So this is designed by Tatiana of Lilleborn Crochet, and if I'd have thought ahead I could have brought some of my other hexagons down to show you, but this one will look like this here. So this one's a little bit more involved than the last one that I did, which was quite nice, and they crocheted up quite quickly. So I'm now only officially a month behind. This is tomorrow's project, so I might as well leave it down here when I tidy up. And I'm at work tomorrow morning, so I probably might not get as much done on that unless I get up early before the alarm. Some weekends, I don't know how many of you have young children, but sometimes I get up at 5 so that I can have an hour just me by myself, no children, peace and quiet, and just generally chill, crochet, knit, whatever I feel like doing on that day. So I might work on that first thing in the morning. My next whip is my biggest whip. This one's probably going to need me to stand on my sofa that I'm sat on. I'm really sorry if the focusing is going a bit strange on my camera. I'm sort of looking at you on a mirror, and every now and then it looks like it goes a bit fuzzy, and I don't know if that's the mirror or my phone, so I'm really sorry if that happens. So I have worked on this a little bit. This is the Scheepes Crochet Along. The D'Histoire Naturelle is the name of the pattern. It is designed by Christina Hadderingh, and it's a free pattern on the Scheepes website, designed with so you can either go for the Colour Crafter yarn, which is the one I went for, or the stone washed, river washed brand of Scheepes yarn, which I'm really wishing I'd gone for. But this for 2021's CAL, I will definitely be going for the higher end yarn. Not because I have a problem with Colour Crafter, because it's actually a really nice acrylic to work with. I just want to try something different, and just why not? I'm going to treat myself. I've already started to save up so that when it's due the outlay isn't going to be so big because I've already been putting away for it. Anyway, I am up to row 88, so I'm still a little way from finished. So the last couple of rows I've done are these 2 blue ones here, and then this grey one that I'm working on now is row 88, round 88. And let me try and go back so you can see as much of it as possible. Let's try standing up. I just really love blankets like this. Really, really love anything like this. So these corners were a nightmare, but I really like the way they look. I still haven't sewn in all of my ends. That is probably going to be a big job right at the end, and I've learned my lesson. I will from now on these bigger projects sew in the ends as I go, just because I hate sewing in ends, and that's going to be a big job, a big job. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm debating what blanket pattern to replace it with. I've got my eye on a couple of the Helen Shrimpton patterns of crystals and crochet. She released a crochet along at roughly the same time as the Scheepes one, so I had to make a choice, and I chose the Scheepes. So I might go for that one. It's the octagonical. I think that's how it's said. I don't know. But that one looks really, really nice. I really want to do that one. There's also a few others of the paid patterns that I quite like the look of as well. And her blankets are a similar style to that. I like the idea of always having a blanket on the go, even though I'm really conscious that by the time I finish this, the warmer weather is just around the corner. Do I really want to be potentially working on a large blanket in the heat of summer? I'm not sure. We will have to wait and see. But it's definitely up there on my things I want to start. Plus that might mean a yarn order, so I might have to try and sneak that one in. Because I have so much yarn that I need to use, and I have promised that 2021 is the year that I work mainly from my stash. I haven't decided, I'm not on a yarn buying ban, because let's not fool ourselves. There's no way I'm not going to buy yarn. But I am going to reduce how much yarn I buy, try and clear some space on my shelves, and then I can treat myself to some more. But who knows, the year is young. So I'll show my other knitting whips. I only have the 2 knitting whips. I always plan on having a pair of socks on the go and one other knitting whip. Knitting, I've knit since I was 9. I've only been crocheting for the past 3 years now. I think I'm coming up to 3 years since I first learned how to crochet. And I'm just watching some of the other podcasts of people who do knitting and crochet. I'm really enjoying some of the things that they knit, and it motivated me to start knitting again. So I always plan on having 2 knit whips on the go. And this whip here, I'm really loving. I can't wait to wear this, and I'm just a fraction done. So this is from my Harry Potter Knitting Magic, and it is one of almost all of the patterns in here that I want to make. That's my scruffy bit of paper telling me where I am on the repeats. So I am working on this pattern, and it is the Owl Post Pullover, and it's got this lovely cabled section here, which is the bit that I'm working on. So this bit is worked straight. Let's get it so you can see. This bit is worked straight, and then you work the yoke in the round, and then you work the body in the round, and then you do the sleeves in the round. I've never knit a sweater in the round before in my life, so that will be an experience for definite. So yes, I am using my Aldi Aran. So this is from the 2020 colourways that they released. They do different colourways every year, and they have a spring release and an autumn release, and I bought these in the autumn. This is forest green. It's 20% wool and 80% acrylic, and it's really, really nice. It's very soft, very, very soft. It was £4.99 for a 400 gram ball, and I can't remember what meterage it is on a ball. My spare ball is on my shelf somewhere, so I shan't get that out. I think we've done enough pausing for now. Here is, so last time I showed you this, I was here. I'd done this much, and now I've done this much since you last saw me. I'm getting into a rhythm with the cable, so let's show you the cable. It's really, really nice. I haven't gone wrong in too many places, which I'm really pleased with, because I'm not one for ripping back. It definitely could do with a block, which I'm sure once it's blocked and it's knitted in and blocked, it'll be a little bit clearer. But it's just so pretty, and I can't wait. I keep checking it around, because even though I've measured myself and I've done a gauge swatch, I was aiming to knit the large size, but I think I'm going to be able to get away with the medium, and maybe just add a few rounds at the bottom for the length, because I normally am a large. I'm not knitting with the asked for yarn though. The asked for yarn for this pattern is Rowan Felted Tweed Aran. So maybe that's a slightly thinner yarn than the Aran weight yarn that I'm using. Like I said, I did gauge swatch, and that was fine. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping that at the end of it I get a wearable sweater, even if by the, I don't know. I'm hoping that the rate this is working up, I should be able to get it done by the end of February, maybe. Watch this space. We'll see. Having never worked sweaters in the round before, there's time for me to be making mistakes. But let's get that away. And this is living in my, this is actually an overnight bag, sort of toiletry bag type thing that I bought from Primark as a pack of 3 for £10, and it's just the perfect size for a sweater, so that's quite good. My last, no, I have 2 more whips, and both of them crochet. I'll show you the one I haven't made huge amounts of progress first. So this is my Hummingbird Cardigan, which you're probably getting sick of seeing and sick of hearing me say, I really want to get this done. Alright, so my problem with this for this time round is the day that this fell to work on, I had a really bad day at work. And I don't know about you, but if I feel really low, and I don't want to use the word depressed, because I don't think I was depressed, but I was definitely feeling really, really down that day. And I'd been very tearful at work over various things, and I just didn't feel very motivated to work on anything that night. So I haven't got a huge amount done, but I have started the last panel of the cardigan. So I got almost 2 repeats done before I gave up and just went to bed. So this is the pattern. So it's basically some box stitches done together to form these really nice sort of diamond patterns. And this is worked in Starcraft Life DK, and I am using just the standard Starcraft Life DK in Heather, which is 75% premium acrylic and 25% wool. And the main colour yarn that I'm using is the Vintage Look Starcraft Life DK, and that is the same yarn makeup, it's just a different colour range of colourways, but in the same base. And I really, really love this, and I love how the colours are working up. So there's the section with the contrasts. I just really like how it's a really subtle contrast. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this. So hopefully I will be able to focus on it a little more when I next work on it and get started on the sleeves. And I'm crocheting this on a 5mm hook. Oh, I forgot to mention my pullover. I am knitting that on my Knit Pro Zing circulars, and there are, I think I'm using the 5mm needles on those. So one more whip to show. I'm sure Catherine's getting bored of listening to me talking about yarn and stuff like that. She keeps looking at the time to see how long I've been talking. So my last whip, and then we're on some incoming, is this delightful donkey. So this is the Donkey Amigurumi crochet pattern by, let me get the pattern, by Craft Passion. It's a free pattern, and I'll, as before, I'll link that below. And he's nearly finished. He's nearly finished. Here he is. Hello. He's got sort of a quizzical look on his face because I managed to sew his head on wonky, but I really like the way it looks, so I'm not going to change it. There he is. So I've got his ears, his head and his body and his arms. So we've just got his legs, his tail and his mane to go. And as far as my attempts at amigurumi go, this isn't too bad. I will dig in one of the girls' bedrooms and see if I can find my very first attempt at amigurumi to show you next time, because that is a laughable attempt. His limbs are all different sizes, at least. I've got similar size, the arms are in proportion to the body. A little bit more successful at the stitching together this time as well, barring the head. If you ignore the fact that the head is like this. But I think he's really cute. So I'm so far I'm pleased with this, and I am sure that the girl's grandma, whose birthday gift this is going to be from us, well, obviously not the only birthday gift, but one of the birthday gifts that we are giving to her, I'm sure she'll enjoy it. So those are all my whips. Only a tiny bit of incoming, so I will start with the incoming that I'm in love with the most. So for Christmas, Simon bought me some yarn from the girls from a brand called Orchidine Luxury Yarns, and I fell in love with it, so I had to go and have a look. And it turns out she has a yarn subscription. We all know what I'm like with yarn subscriptions, and I thought, well, I'm cancelling my Crochet Society subscription, so the funds are there to replace it. So I have gone for a 2-monthly delivery of the Wildflower yarn subscription, and I'm in love. I'm in love. This month's flower is the Camellia, and here is the yarn. It's blowing out a little bit. Let me just change the angle of the light there. Ooh. Sorry, Catherine, am I blinding you with that?
Little, yes.
So that's gone a bit dark now. It's really not showing the colour terribly well. Oh. So that's about as good as I think I'm going to get the colours on this. But it's absolutely beautiful. So here's her label. So it's Orchidine Yarns, and it's just, and the lady's name is Abby. This is on her titanium stock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I've gone for the fingering weight, but you can choose to have it in a DK weight too. And for the fingering weight, you get 425 meters, which is a nice amount. So I love this yarn so much. I haven't got a clue what I'm making with it, but then a lot of my hand dyed yarns, I haven't got a clue, but still. And it came with this card, because life's too short to knit with cheap yarn. That's a sentiment that I wish I could buy into if I was on a higher salary, but I like knitting with cheap yarn as well as expensive yarn. And it also came with this really lovely stitch marker. It's just a really pretty silver ball. So that'll go in my fancy stitch marker box. I had hoped that my Dinah's Home of Craft subscription would be here by now. The invoice came through for that last week, but it's not here yet, so I'll have to show you that next time. So that was my yarn subscription, and I've got a couple of new magazines. So I've got the latest Crochet Now magazine, which is issue 64. And other than my crochet along, it's another one where there isn't anything in there that I really want to make. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to have to, if it carries on like this, I'm going to have to really, really love the next crochet along to continue with my subscription. There are a couple of bits, I'm sure if my girls were a bit younger. There's the clangers, there's a clangers pillow. They were fans of the clangers. I wasn't. Let's try and see if what else is in here. So there's quite a nice wrap. Where did that go? A windswept wintry scarf. So that's not too bad. Not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But I've got so many other patterns that I want to make. Does it really matter? If I have a couple of magazines where there isn't much that I don't want to do. And I also bought issue 207 of the Simply Knitting magazine for a couple of reasons. One, I absolutely love this sweater. Two, I absolutely love this poncho, and so does Catherine. I'll be making that for her, possibly in time for winter. And three, it came with some mitten blockers. I haven't made any mittens yet, and it would have been nice if these were sock blockers because I could do with sock blockers. But I just thought for just the £6 or so that it is for the magazine, it's really nice. It's got the little thumb inserts in a little envelope attached, and I really like this pattern on them with the mittens. And it has a pattern booklet. So I'm really tempted to try some of these mittens, especially these little cable ones here. But we'll have to wait and see. So that's all my incoming. Crikey, how long have I been talking? Oh, not too bad. Around 40 minutes. That's not too bad actually for me. Unless that doesn't include all the stops before, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'd like to just let you know of a book that I've just finished, and I do like a read. Because my days are so full, I don't get to read very much at the end of the day, so it does take me a long time to get through a book. But I really, really enjoyed this. Lionel Shriver, so much for that. I have read and watched the book stroke movie We Need to Talk About Kevin, which is by the same author, and it's along similar dark veins, although this explores the story of a man who wants to get away from it all, but he's held back by responsibilities. I don't want to give too much away, but I think it's not too much a giveaway that there's a bit of death involved. Quite a graphic suicide scene for one of the characters. I won't tell you which. Definitely worth a look if you like reading and you like something that's it's not an easy read, but it flows really well. It's well written. I think it's a subject matter that can make it just a little harder to read, but I really enjoyed that book, and I'm getting a sticky throat again. Oh, that's better. So now I've started this book, which is also really good so far. So this is The Help by Catherine Stockett, and on one hand, the thing that gets me when I'm reading it is it's written from the point of view of two Black American I think sort of housemaids in the 60s, early 60s in America, and it's written in the cadence of the way they would speak, which has taken me a few chapters to get the hang of, because I find my brain trying to correct the way things have been written, even though that it's written in the way that the person would talk. Whereas if they were talking to me, it wouldn't make much difference. I'd still hear them and understand them. But as I have got on, I'm about 50 pages in, so now as I read, I can almost hear the voice of the character now. So after the first 10-20 pages, I started to hear the character's voice, and I'm not quite sure where the story is going yet. The blurb on the back mentions a missing maid, but so far I'm enjoying this one. So if any of you have read this, please let me know. Just let me know if you think it's a good book, or if it's one I should maybe avoid. But yeah, I'm, like I said a million times, I'm really enjoying it so far, although I'm only 50 pages in. So that's pretty much it. I don't think I've got much else to say. Oh dear, me running out of words. Plus, I'm dying to get that sock finished. I can't wait to get it done. So, obviously all my contact information will be below. So if you have watched and have enjoyed, please consider subscribing. It's really nice to see those numbers tick up every now and then. And comments, I always enjoy seeing my comments, and I always try my best to reply to them. And I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and have a great couple of weeks of knitting or crochet, whatever your craft is, and I shall see you again soon. So that's me. I'm Crochet Moments. My name is Helen, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.